with your host, Strive. And today we have Eric, Hogtie, Polymath, Realistic Alice, Wit, Donald, and Alison. However the hell you pronounce her name. I give up.
Hey, Strife, you can call me Don if you want.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Also, Polly, can you please mute your thing? Or whatever the heck that noise was.
The whole stigma of Donald is old.
Why not just call yourself Doolittle?
Doolittle?
Yeah.
Why Doolittle?
I don't know, because I found a duck 2 days ago, and I was like, I should name it Doolittle. And that's just an awesome name. Just,
Oh.
yeah, that was just a random thought I know. Hogtie, you back?
I think so. I'm not certain. Do I sound back?
Yeah, we can hear you, but someone's got their mic on.
It's
I got a
Polymath. I'm going to
question.
kick him.
Oh,
Now. Oop.
Alright, here's my question. How do you justify the external world exists?
We need Johan for this, then.
I'm just kidding. No. No.
I'll do it. I'll do
No.
it. I'll do
No.
it. I'll do it, man.
Do what?
No, I'm not
Invite
threatening
Johan to piss off Wit.
Johanan?
Yeah,
He'd
Johan.
be on my team in that argument.
Rats?
Yeah.
He's annoying.
He's actually, I like him more than Inspiring Philosophy, believe it or not.
Well, yeah, I would
Really?
see that.
How is that possible?
Well, I don't know. I feel like Rats is not genuine. I feel like he's just trolling all the time.
He's insane. I think I've defeated his introspective argument, but it takes a long time. So I don't want to bore you
I
with that.
was sending him a bunch of messages yesterday because we were talking to him yesterday, and I sent him a bunch of messages, and then like we started getting into Zen and koans, and
Oh God.
I sent him this one koan, and then he started drawing all these conclusions from it, and I was just like, dude, you're Zenning wrong. And he just like, I don't know. It was funny because he knows he's doing it, and he knows what I mean when I say he's just a dick. I don't want to like, I say it if he were in here too, because I feel like he's just trolling, man. He's just trolling
He
all
once
the
said that
time.
he was, actually. He once did say that he's doing this just for trolls or lows or something.
Well, he says he trolls with the holographic universe thing. That's what he says.
Also,
But
Eric,
he's actually-
just to note, Johan is a person who, I guess trolls or believes in this, that the universe is a holographic, it's inside the mind of
Mind?
God, I guess, would be the simplest explanation.
He's a Christian Neoplatonist.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. Like,
Why? I mean, Platonism, Christianity and Platonism are a lot alike. In fact, I think you could say Platonism. Platonism is kind of what gave birth to a lot of Christian doctrine. I mean, the whole idea of
you're right.
heaven
Yeah.
and hell. The whole idea of
good and
another
evil.
dimension, another realm in which God inhabits, is, I think, derived directly from the doctrine of like, Platonic forms. Without that, everything, God was still physical before Plato.
Yeah. But the notion of the ideas in Platonism, for example, the ideas of that numbers have their own existence runs counter to Christianity if they believe that God created everything, right?
How so?
Because
Well,
then
not
that's
if you believe that numerical values are
Oh no.
equivalent to God. Like God is also numerical values. I guess you could get away with it that way.
No, I
or
saw
like
a
the
video.
laws of logic.
I saw a video. I don't know if you saw this video at all, Amika. Maybe that's what you're referencing. But I saw a video. It was a conversation with Craig. I don't know what the video was, but they
William
were
Lane
talking
Craig?
exactly about that. How Platonism and that idea of
William
like
Lane-
numbers. Well, yeah, it implies that there's something else that existed besides God. God, in other words,
was it
is
with
just
William
one
Lane
of the
Craig?
Platonic forms.
Was it with William Lane Craig?
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, it was William Lane Craig talking about how that is actually an argument against God, or not against God, but it's an argument that says, God is just one of an infinite variety of like Platonic forms that exist, and so In other words, there's nothing special about God then. If you're a Platonist,
Yeah.
he's
No, you would say God is all Platonic forms.
yeah. I forget exactly how the argument went, but it was interesting.
Well, I'm just saying that makes more sense.
Yeah,
Would you be
because you
interested
can't
in
have God create the Platonic forms by fiat.
Kant?
You cannot.
Why?
Hold on.
Wait,
Because they have their own ethereal. It would have to assume the forms in order to create them. For example, the laws of logic. You would have to assume logic in order to create the laws of logic.
I forget.
wait.
Craig has a pretty ingenious way of getting out of that, though. I forget.
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
Hogtie, you there? Did he die?
I'd be interested in realistic nihilist's answer to my question, or Allison, for that matter, or Eric.
Wait, what did
None
you
of them.
say?
Oh, I'd be interested in how you would answer my question I posed at the end of the show, which was, I could split it into kind of two parts. The one would be if you had a 9-year-old son or daughter and they asked you directly, is God real? What would your answer be? And the kind of the longer version of that question is basically, to what extent do you as a parent have an obligation to teach your kids about religion?
Well, if someone were to ask me if God is real, I would say, what do you think God is? I would ask them what they thought God is.
What if they said a man in heaven or in the sky or something like that?
I would say I don't assume that because I don't know exactly what that entails. I would ask them. I would keep asking them questions.
Yeah, no, that's good, I think.
Because I do well. I already do it with my nieces. I mean, he's not my nephew is 11 and he's an atheist because I am. But my nieces come up to me, and when I was telling them about what nihilism was, they were telling me that I was going to go to hell because their aunt had basically indoctrinated them into the Christian faith.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, that's such a mean thing to say. I was like, what do you think hell is? And I was like, why do you believe in it? So I just asked them, and they were like, oh, well, they say it's a place that you go after you die. And I was just like, wait, has your aunt ever died? And they said, no. I said, then how the hell does she know? And they were just like, well, I don't know how she knows. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting to me because, my son actually asked me that, like when he was 7, and it really made me think about it. And even though I was an atheist at that time, I felt really uncomfortable giving a kind of direct answer, like either whether it be, no, God isn't real, or even something as maybe something a little less strong than, saying, well, I don't think so, but what do you believe? Because even that, I recognize I'm an authority figure. In other words, I'm more or less a god to my kids, so it's like whatever I say, they're just going to accept as fact. So even me saying, well, I personally believe this, is going to, I think, influence them to actually, in other words, they're going to take that as synonymous with, oh, well, if my dad believes it, it's true, So
You should have just said I'm a solipsist. And when they say, what's a solipsist? You should have been like, that means I am God.
No, but
If I may?
well, it's interesting because I think it's interesting as an atheist because I think it would be wrong for an atheist, and I would hope that most atheists would agree that, to give an answer, especially the answer of like, no, God's not real, you should be an atheist, is wrong. That you shouldn't, immoral in a sense, or it's just not good parenting. You should ask them, what do they think? What is God? Et cetera, et cetera. Whereas, it seems weird because for an atheist to say that, because the Christian, as I said earlier, is part of their a lot of their doctrines, that you have to raise your kids in the faith.
Right. I think Donnie wants to go.
Yeah, I'd like to chime in on this. You know, I mean, you make a very good point, Whit, and so do you, Realistic. You know, the thing is that, you know, in that moment, you know, I've had my kids ask me, does hell exist? Does heaven exist? And I tell them the exact same thing I tell everybody else who are grown-ups. Nobody knows till you die. Okay? That's why I don't believe in the whole brimstone and fire mentality. You know, and you didn't you just say, Whit, that that's basically the parents' job to teach the kids or indoctrinate the kids? I don't.
Well,
I give them free will to be able to.
According to Christianity.
Well, and again, I'm not saying that is the correct Christian doctrine. I'm just saying that most people think.
Yeah.
Most people are a form of Christianity such that, you know, that's what they think their Christianity tells them to do.
Well, it's just like the latest video that the angry atheist did about dying, and what his friend comes up to him and says, you know, my so-and-so passed away. That it's his job to tell the person, well, you know, there is no God and there's no heaven. Who the fuck are you to tell someone who's grieving to shoot them down in that moment? How about just walk away, keep your opinion to yourself, and have the discussion later? Because to be honest with you, if someone would have came up to me when my dad died in January, I would have knocked them on their fucking ass. Only because you have no right telling me that I can't grieve and I can't believe that my dad's in a better place. In that moment, I'm so depressed. Most people have killed themselves because they didn't know where their parents or where their family members or wherever their loved ones are. So that's one of the biggest problems I have with atheists and the ones that do that. You know, when they go up to when their friend or loved ones has a loss in their family or friends or even their freaking pet, okay, who are you to tell them that they're not in a better place? If that's what brings them comfort in that time of depression, let them have that. I mean, why does it matter? And if later on you have that discussion with the person and express to them, well, you know, I'm sorry that you lost your family member or your loved one, but I personally do not believe there's evidence for God or evidence for heaven or hell. But in that moment is the ones that really piss me off the most. Because I personally would never tell someone, you know what, your dad was an alcoholic and a drug user, so your dad's going to go to hell. You know, because in that moment you don't really deserve, that person does not deserve to get more shit on by someone who doesn't believe the same thing they believe. So that was my 2 cents.
So you're not like Fred Phelps then, huh?
I don't know who Fred Phelps is.
Florida. We'll kill the
Fred
kid.
Phelps
Church?
What?
Fred
Oh,
Phelps
no.
is
Hell
the
no.
founder
I
of the
can't
Westboro
stand
Baptist
Westboro
Church.
Baptist Church.
And
They are a
he
bunch of fucking...
he says straight up to people, he'll be like, oh, they're in hell right now.
No.
You know what his son tells people? He tells them that their parents hate them because they're gay or something. They're like, your parents want you to go to hell because they raised you this way.
I just did since I first started being a part of the Lion Ghost, everybody was asking me to do my Christian perspective of things. And they were my first video. Are you kidding me? These people are whack jobs. They have signs that say God hates fags. Nowhere in my entire 41 years of living have I ever heard a Christian say that God hates fags and truly believe it. And I've been to 40 out of the 50 states, and I've interacted with thousands of Christians, not hundreds, thousands of Christians, and no one, unless they're a fundamental whack job, have I ever heard that. Because I was raised that in the Bible it says, love thy neighbor, not kill thy neighbor because he's gay or he's fucking a different color. So they're whack jobs. They have no... They believe that they're gonna, when in the end times, they're gonna go to Jerusalem. Are you kidding me? They're gonna get killed over there with their thoughts.
Well, I mean, Donald, like, like there's exceptions, like love thy neighbor if he's white or something like that.
No, there isn't.
I
Nowhere in
know,
the Bible it
but
says
that's how
that.
people used it.
No, I know that. I understand that. But the talk about the fundamentals of Christianity, it says love thy neighbor. It doesn't say love thy neighbor only if they're white or only if they're straight or only if they're purple. It says love thy neighbor, period. And it also says do not judge unless ye be judged. So it doesn't say don't judge unless they're gay, unless they're black. It doesn't say nothing like that.
Jesus said, and he said the whole of the gospel, or not gospels, but the scriptures can be summed up with these two laws. Love the Lord your God as yourself, and
But Jesus said also said he was going to divide
love God
families.
with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. That's the whole message of the scripture.
Yeah, but he also said that he came to divide families. Matthew 10:30 says that he who does not dislike his father dislike his father is not worthy of me, and things like that. So, I mean, you can pick and choose and take the good bits that Jesus said, but you also have that cultish mentality where it's me or nothing.
Exactly, and with respect, Emeka,
Yeah.
with respect to that, I also have never been shy about admitting I'm a cherry picker because of the fact I don't dwell on the negatives. I dwell on the positives. And I know thousands of people like me. And when people say that, oh, you're just a small collection of Christians. No, there are thousands of people like me. I've come across them throughout my entire travels across the country. And not one of them except for, and I never really got to meet the Westboro Baptist Church, which is kind of lucky because I probably would have ended up in jail for beating the shit out of them.
I love how you say that. I love how you, I mean, like Ray Comfort, when Eric Hovind was with him, he's like, where would you be if you didn't find Christ? I'd be in jail.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah, and then he flipped
his
his shit, and because his daddy's in jail.
Yeah.
See, I don't subscribe, or I should say I don't subscribe anymore to the whole creationist movement because I've educated myself. I'm not, but that still doesn't stop me from being a Christian. That's the part that I try to make people realize. Just because I personally believe in a God and believe that there's a heaven and a hell, that does not affect any one of you or anybody else on the face of the earth. And that's why I'm one of those type of people that defend those type of Christians that are out there that do look at it the same way I do. And that to be lumped in, and I know I should have a different name for the type of Christianity I am, but that's what I love about being non-denominational, because I'm not affiliated with any one specific sect of Christianity.
Well, and look, at least I personally, and I think a lot of atheists would agree, we don't fault you for cherry picking. I mean, if you think about it, what else is the Bible other than a canon of cherry-picked books? So the Bible in and of itself is a cherry-picking of various Gospels and Scriptures. So, I mean, you as an autonomous person, the Lord of your reasoning, to borrow a phrase from Sai, you're totally, you have total license to do that,
Mm-hmm. No,
I mean, whoever decided that what the canonical Gospels are and the Scriptures, they're no more human or less human than you, and so they're cherry picking too. So by you saying you're cherry picking, you're just doing what anybody does,
You're
deciding what your theology is.
what realistic?
You're cherry picking what has already been cherry picked.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, unfortunately, people like you are not as loud and as active as Ken Ham. Because if you go on his Facebook page, he and his followers are the most disconnected from reality of any people I've ever seen.
And most fundamentalists are, in my opinion. The Eric Hovind, the one you just said. I mean,
but it's so ridiculous because some of the things I've read, some of the comments I've read on his Facebook page are. Hold on, let me just find one. If the Bible wasn't true, why would anyone want to believe it? The Bible is true because it's inerrant. I mean, can you get any dumber?
And those are the people that I don't affiliate myself with, because the fact is that I look at it from a logical point of view. Everything that is about the Bible is written by man, not by God. It's inspired by God. Just like science books is written by man, not by science itself. It takes men to write books, and you learn from these books. You don't take them in, well, at least the Bible perspective. You don't take the Bible as a literal text of history, even though there are some historical facts that are in the Bible. Okay? Not much, but there is historical facts in the Bible. The money that's mentioned in the Bible. Just small...
Have you read Spider-Man? Have you read Spider-Man?
Have I ever read Spider-Man?
Yeah, because Spider-Man talks about New York. And it talks about real newspapers.
No, I know the difference between reality and fantasy, yes.
I would like to interject.
Yeah, sure.
It's interesting that you say that there are lessons that you can learn from the Bible, just like, and then you kind of equate it to a science textbook. And it's interesting that you say you can, because like the only thing that you can learn from the Bible would be philosophical in a sense, but why would that lead to a belief in a God? It is interesting to me, because you can find all sorts of philosophical material even in Hinduism or
Vedas,
various other religions. So I don't understand why you'd lay weight to one text as opposed to every single other one.
I have the perfect answer to that, because I wasn't raised in those religious backgrounds.
Well,
if I lived in India, I would be defending the Hindu belief. If I lived and I was taught the Hindu belief. But if I was taught or lived in Norway, I would be taught the Norwegian or the Norse gods. It all depends on where your upbringing is. I was born in America, so I subscribe to the Bible.
Well, not only that, but there's a lot of aspects to those other religions that aren't antithetical to your religious beliefs. So like Taoism or Buddhism, those are perfectly compatible with Christianity. So it may just be, you haven't had enough exposure to those texts, but even if you did, you could still put just as much stock in them as you do the Bible. And again, because the nature of you being a cherry picker, and again, I don't say that with any negative connotation. I'm, in a sense, I'm a cherry picker in the same way, in that I find beauty and truth in a lot of different various religious texts. I think some of the things Jesus said were beautiful. Just as I'll think a lot of Buddhist or Taoist texts have immense, grains of truth to them or whatever. But yeah, so I mean. Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying, though. I mean, it's not. You bring up other religions. I mean, like I said earlier in the actual show, is that I have researched other religions and other beliefs. I may not been able to read their text because I don't understand their language, but the basic translations that I have researched on, there is positive in just about all of the religions. But us as a society, we're so apt to the negative connotations in the Bible. That's why there's so much distasted in this country, is because of those negative.
I guess what I'm trying to understand is your persuasion towards this text. I mean, okay, I get that it has something that you find a value in it, but it seems like you're being really honest when you go into your assessment of the Bible. So I just don't know why you need the conclusion, and you can't just take the philosophical lessons out of it without the conclusion that a God exists. You know what I'm saying?
That's what if I understand what you're saying, that's exactly what I'm doing. I mean, the fact that I don't sit there and say, you know what, I believe in a God, I'm right, you're wrong, because everything I've learned from the Bible is absolute. But me telling you that because I believe that way and you don't believe the same way as I do, you're wrong. And you're going to go to hell and burn in hell forever. I don't even believe my sons are going to go to hell because they're atheists. You get what I'm saying?
I know, but I just...
Well, and I don't think Donald is saying he derived his belief in God by reading the Bible anyway. You know,
no,
like
it was the environment I lived in, and I didn't. Unlike the panel who have had bad experiences with religion, I didn't have a negative involvement in religion. So I'm not afraid to believe and say I believe, because it does not falter from the way I live my life. I mean, unfortunately, there are those that have had really bad experiences with religions. And I understand why they don't believe at all.
Well, it's not. I mean, for me, it's not necessarily about bad experience, even though my years in a Christian home were some of the most boring, insulated years of my life. But I mean, I just don't find the claims true, and I don't see why you can take the good bits of the Bible and then dump the bad bits, like homosexuals should be killed, or that the earth is 6,000 years old, or there's going to be this giant apocalypse and we have to, do all this activity in the Middle East in order to fulfill prophecies in Daniel and Ezekiel. I mean, there's just no need for that. I can take the good bits.
I'll address you, but Realistic wanted to go next.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I wanted to say is it's interesting to me because when you're saying this, you're saying all this stuff. You're basically indirectly claiming that your belief is irrelevant to your life. So I wonder why you maintain it, because as you said you don't let your beliefs guide what you think about other people. You don't let them, you don't decide for other people who's going to heaven and who's going to hell because your belief, and it makes so it seems to me that your belief in God to you is not relevant, because if it were, you would be trying to convince people and you would be, I'm just trying to understand why you feel the need to hold on to it. I don't know.
Okay, I guess the best way I can describe it is I don't find my religion or my belief structure as irrelevant. As goes my life. I just don't, for some people like to say that because I'm a Christian, I support slavery. All this shit that happened that was so bad that was in the Bible, just because I don't subscribe to it does not mean that I don't know it exists in the Bible. You get what I'm saying? I know it exists, but I don't agree with it. And
why don't you agree with it? Are you saying that God was wrong? I mean, I don't want to sound mean. I really don't.
Well, no, he said
again.
No, he said people wrote the Bible just like people write.
Okay.
And so it's not God that's wrong. It may have, at best, correct me if I'm wrong here, Donald, but at best you could say that the people who are speaking about God were wrong.
Exactly, and I've always said this, and I'll continue saying this, is that the Bible was written by men, okay? God didn't write this. So this is 66 books from a man's perspective of the events that happened in that time. It's no different than someone's journal, figuratively speaking. And when it comes to me living my life the way I live it, I don't go out and do immoral things. And do I believe that I have to have the Bible to have morality? No, we're innately, I guess that's the word, inherently. We have morals in us. I've always believed that. But there are those of us that need a constant reminder. Because we've got these laws that are on the books that's man's laws that coalesce with the Bible. If you cheat on your spouse, your ass is going to get a divorce and you're going to pay for it. If you steal from somebody, you're going to
Not
pay
if you're the
for it.
woman. Not if you're the woman. You're not gonna pay for shit.
But you get my drift. I
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
we can pick and choose where it's right and wrong, but the fact is if you kill someone in manslaughter, you will suffer. Okay? If you kill in the Bible, you will suffer spiritually. But if you don't have that spiritual guidance, then you deal with manslaughter. The only difference between Christianity and secularism is who you have to pay the penance to and how many times. If like me, if I kill someone, not only do I have to pay manslaughter, but when I die, I believe that I'm going to pay for it in the afterlife. But that's because I believe in an afterlife. So, it doesn't I don't apologize for the way I look at things. And the reason why is because my life, I'm the one that has to feel the consequences. Nobody else.
Well, and to maybe expand on that a little bit, as Christians are always want to do, if you make the analogy from parenthood, which, if God is this kind of parental figure,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's always absurd to me when most, at least the Skype discussions I've encountered, where people bring up that analogy to try to, it's usually in the context of actually trying to justify things like eternal torment, But if you really take the analogy seriously, if God is, what do you do to your own children when they misbehave? In other words, right? Do you torture them forever? No. And so if you take that analogy seriously, if God really is a parental figure, when you die and you, as you put it, Donald, have to suffer the consequences, they're going to be they ought to be, if God is any kind of a moral agent, be at least somewhat similar to the way any normal parent. I mean, if the analogy has any weight to it whatsoever, it's in the fact that we have the human example of parenting, I mean, if you don't accept that part of the analogy, there's no point to the analogy. And that part of the human part of the analogy acknowledges that the best parenting styles is that you try to bring your kids to an understanding without, say, violence, or you try to do that with your words or intellect, and you get them to understand and learn their lesson. You get them to see the value and pragmatic reasons to act good, rather than just torturing them because they were bad. That's not good parenting, in other words.
Your kid's going to grow up to be a rapist because the best parenting technique is to beat them into submission, and then they can't say no.
Yeah, well, that doesn't fly anymore in this day and age, because when I was a kid, man, my parents whooped the shit out of me, and not on an abusive level, but to let me know I was doing wrong because I needed it. And I'm the first one to admit that I needed it when I was a kid. And nowadays, I mean, and I don't know if you've ever heard my story about it, my two oldest boys, who are now 22 and 21, when they were 7 and 8, they flooded the top floor of my townhouse, caused almost $800 worth of damage. I took 3 hours to relax and calm down and be clear-minded when I went up there and I gave them 2 swats on the ass. I got 3 years of probation and a year suspended sentence. And now I can never own a fucking firearm in the state of Nevada, at least, because I haven't left the state yet. But, how is that fucking fair? Now, with that being said, let's fast forward. When the 4 years was up and over with, when they closed the case, I went in front of the judge, or right before I went into the judge, we were waiting in the courtrooms. And the youngest of the two was running up and down the fucking waiting room, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Yay!" Sitting right next to me was a CPS worker, okay? And I told him, "Get your ass over here." He's, no shit, this fucking far away from me. I said, "Boy, you better sit your ass down and behave." He said, and I quote, "I do not have to listen to you because she said so."
Yeah, that's
Now, when I went into court, I went and saw the judge. She did all her legal jargon bullshit and made the biggest mistake and said, "Mr. Curry, do you have any last words?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I do. Thank you very much." And I went and proceeded in saying, "Well, I want your home number. I want your home address. I want your phone number, office number, and office address." She said, why? It's because when these two get out of control, that I cannot discipline them the way I see fit, I'm bringing them to your ass to discipline my children. Oh, no, that's not my job. I said, the fuck it isn't, lady. The bailiff stood up. I said, no, sir. She gave me my last words. I'm not being disrespectful. No, sir. He sat down and I finished up and I said, look, you took the rights away from me as a parent to discipline my kids as I see fit. I do not abuse my children. I do not neglect my children. I raise my children the way I was raised. And I turned out just as good as anybody else. I don't break the law. Well, at least I don't break the law intentionally. I don't go out pillaging. Pillaging, is that the word? Pillaging?
Let's just say you plead the
kind of an
you plead the
antiquated term.
I'm a good
I'd be
citizen.
surprised if you were pillaging, man.
Yeah, but I'm a good
conquering.
citizen. Right, I'm a good parent. And now the 21-year-old just got out of prison because he did not have that guidance that we needed to give him growing up because the system fucking told us not to. They ripped that parental right away from us. Now, do I subscribe to abusing your children? Absolutely not. I'm a child of abuse. When I was a kid, I've had a steel spike go through my fucking leg. Okay?
Oh.
Because he was pissed off at work. I know what fucking true child abuse is. All right? I can tell you volumes of shit that happened to me when I was a kid. And what I do to my kids is not fucking child abuse. And because of those two older ones and me not being able to discipline my kids as I see fit, now my 16-year-old is out somewhere, haven't seen him in almost a fucking week, and we've had two physical altercations because he thinks because I'm disabled now, because I've had 7 strokes, that I don't have a say in my house because he doesn't see me as an authority figure. So when it comes to parenting, I raise my kids the right way. And if it's because of the system stopping us from being parents, because yes, I know it says it in the Bible, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And my children are perfect examples of that.
Well,
So,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. Yeah, I think that's a pretty bad analogy, though, to refer to the Bible and say, because I'm sure that there are plenty of parents, at least ones that I've heard of, that have never ever hit their children, and their children are perfectly well behaved. That's not a good enough.
no,
did anyone
I
hear about the
didn't get a
parents who spanked them to death?
I didn't get a chance to finish my statement. I
Oh,
apologize.
sorry.
But the point, that the reason why I brought up the analogy of the Bible, some kids do need physical discipline. Some kids, all they need is a talking to. Some kids realize that it's wrong when they do it and never do it again. I don't subscribe to the fact that kids are cookie-cutted. And that's the way CPS, which is Child Protective Services here in Nevada, is called. They think all children should be fucking put in timeout. Some kids, figuratively speaking, I don't mean literally, some kids need a fucking knockout. I mean,
perfectly willing to accept that as what it is, but even I guess I could say it this way: even if, I mean, the whole way this started is by me bringing up the way most theists tend to invoke God as a parental figure, and they make these arguments.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey.
Okay.
But anyway,
Since he's,
sorry. Hold on, real quick. Okay. But take the worst case real life scenario. Take the kid who does need a superior fucking ass kicking, right? And I said this as helping you out, Donald. As supporting your kind of case, because if you as I said, if you take it seriously, the idea of God as a parent, you would, even if the kid needs a serious ass kicking, you would never say he needs an eternal one, right? And even the ass kicking, isn't going to be like torturous ass
right.
kicking. So like, even if I grant like some kids need to be fucking beaten, that it still wouldn't get you anywhere close to the idea of hell, as this eternal torture. Like, so.
It's funny too, because the point of punishment is to you know,
Right.
influence further action. You want to
Yes.
influence further action to be appropriate. But if you're eternally being punished, then you can influence no action any further. That's so it defeats the purpose. It's actually
Well,
not really
you
a
do in a
punishment.
sense. Well, you do in a sense. I mean, you are preventing the behavior just by virtue of the fact you're controlling their situation 100%. You know, by torturing them. So you're guaranteed they're not gonna. And
But you're
they're
not correcting their
going to do certain
behavior.
behaviors, but yeah.
But you're not correcting their behavior. Anyway,
Yeah,
there's a
no.
point I wanted to address in what we were talking about some kids needing physical discipline. In my experience, I mentally torture my nieces and nephews, and I don't mean to do that in like a bad way, but when I think they've caught on to listen to me early on because I don't stop questioning them, and I do not stop. I don't let anything go. I will sit there and talk to them and talk to them and talk to them until they get tired of it. Even if they try to like, go limp body and laze around, I'm just like, why are you doing that? Why aren't you participating in this conversation? And I'll tell them things like, oh, I had more respect for you because I thought you could participate in a conversation with an adult. And then I used to just sit there and like I'll badger them into the right thing to do. It's funny. I don't know. That works for me though. Normally. Okay.
Sorry, sorry. I was just wondering, what about the other day? I assume you all know who Thinking Atheist is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He made this really, really powerful video about hell. Like, do you think that teaching your child about hell would be considered child abuse? I mean, it's if it's called Burn Victims. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. But I mean, do you think that would be considered child abuse?
To me, and with respect to realistic, I understand what he's saying because I've tried that tactic. I don't freaking work with my kids because they're a little bit stronger willed than I am to a certain degree. But when it comes to the brimstone and fire, I don't consider it child abuse because of the fact that it's no different than someone saying, well, you're going to go to jail if you keep going the way you're going. I mean, it's someone's perspective. So I personally wouldn't think of it as child abuse, but I also never did that to my children. So they should have the right as the parent to raise their kids as long as they're not physically harming their children. And if those children later on in life need therapy because someone else told them that was child abuse, then that's a whole different discussion.
Well,
Because then that's being manipulated by someone.
What makes it a slippery question too is the fact that we're talking about a psychological abuse, and I think there's a degree to which it becomes kind of subjective. I mean, you could simply say, it's abuse. You could simply answer the question definitively by saying, well, we can count it as abuse if the child feels abused by it. Like if they suffer a great deal of mental strain and anxiety over thinking about that. If they don't, let's say you teach your kids about hell and eternal torture and, that's what's going to happen to them if they don't behave, but they don't give a shit. Is it abuse then? Well,
exactly.
They're not really. If they're not abused by it, then no, right? So it's kind of subjective. I mean, it depends on, like you said, Donald, how perhaps maybe mentally strong-willed the child is, and
right. I mean, I was watching a show. I know it's a cartoon, but it's real to life because when I was growing up, the ignorance of how you get pregnant and all this other crap. Some parents would literally teach their kids at a very early age, if you kiss, you get pregnant. I know that's stupid, but it falls into place here. I mean, it's what you teach. You could absolutely take religion out of it and tell your kids that if you do such and such, this is the result, and it's not a positive result. And that kid will grow up until he or she educates themselves. And if they're to the point where they're mentally they're unable to rationalize reality from fantasy. You've got kids that truly believe that you get pregnant by kissing someone. You know, I mean, do you get what I'm saying? I mean, it's really more towards. This is why I don't look at it as child abuse,
Well,
because it's more towards the mentality that, you know, these kids are going to see it the way the
well,
parents
well,
present it to them.
well, let me say it this way. I'm not dismissing that there is such a thing as psychological or child abuse. You know, I'm just saying it's kind of subjective. And
It
I
is.
guess you could ask the moral question towards the parent. You know, whether or not it's moral for them to do that, in terms of, you know, whether or not they, in other words, you know, whether or not they are consciously like manipulating them. In other words, if you perceive that your child will be susceptible to being kind of psychologically manipulated like that, and then you do it, then I think you're morally culpable. And you know, but I mean, if you, yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, the only other option there is, like, you know, like I said before, if you don't suspect that they are susceptible to that, and you're just doing it as kind of a last resort, and they don't really give a shit. I mean, maybe it's not abuse in that. I mean, probably wouldn't be abuse in that case, I would say. I mean, if the moral question falls on the parent ultimately, whether or not they feel like, you know, they are manipulating the child, you know, and that they're doing so because they recognize them as susceptible to that, and you know.
You know, I mean, and again, I only speak from a non-fundamental opinion of it. You know, I don't sit there and try to. I don't sit there and try to tell my kids that, you know, non-logical things. I mean, I tell them, like my middle son, the one that just got out of prison. We told him his entire life that if he keeps doing what he's doing, he will end up in prison. Oh no, he knew more than we did, and he ended up in prison anyway. You know, I mean, and some people would say that as a 6-6 said in the chat, the doom and gloom ideology. I mean, any school of thought, if you find something that works for your kid to stop with the negative behavior and it works, that's just a parent trying to be a good parent and stopping their kids from going down a bad path. I mean, I know for me, I don't want my kids to ever have to go through the crap I've gone through in my life. So we're constantly trying to tell them, hey, look, what you're doing is going to be wrong. It's going to have, you're going to have some negative negative effects of what your behavior is going to be. Like my 16-year-old, he's out there on the street somewhere, and because of health reasons, I've already been to the hospital 3 times in the last month and a half, and each time has progressively gotten worse. So I'm at the point now where he's smart enough. He knows the difference between right and wrong, and what he's doing now he knows is wrong, and he's going to have to learn the hard way, and that's unfortunate because his middle brother had to learn the hard way, and now he's starting to try to better his life. But now he has to live with the fucking felony the rest of his life until he gets it expunged. So, you know, when it comes to that idea that hell is one way of psychologically getting your kids on the right track, then, you know, I don't look at it as an abuse. Anything to make your kid fly right and do the right thing,
Wait.
I'm for.
Is he a Christian? The one that's in jail, is he a Christian?
He became a Christian when he was in jail.
Okay, because one thing that's important is that I don't know how. I mean, this is kind of a hypothesis I have, but if you're raised to believe that the only morality you have is your religion, then it is possible that if you give that up, you find yourself, you know, without any sort of guidelines to follow, and you just do whatever you want. And for me, I was fortunate enough to be able to kind of divorce, you know, right or wrong, you know, don't steal from people and lie to people and be mean to people, from don't do this because God's watching and, you know, it makes God angry. So that might be, I don't know.
Well,
That's
not
a
only
very
that.
good point. I want to address this if I may,
Yeah.
because that follows suit with the perspective of my 16-year-old that's out there somewhere. He is the one of the atheist children, and he's the one that, and he told us, and I quote, "I have nobody to answer to, and that's why I'm doing my own thing."
Yeah, I think. Well, there are actually studies done that address a similar question, which is basically the one study. They took kids and they had two different groups, or they had several groups, but they were basically told to do a task, and basically when there was somebody sitting in the room with them, they would not cheat on the task. You know, they knew they were being watched. There was someone in the room with them, so they all did their best to do their whatever task it was. Then there was a group, you know, with nobody in the room, and they, you know, that was it. They weren't told that anybody was in the room, and they tended to cheat, you know, a lot. That was the highest cheating group. But then they also did a group where they didn't have anybody in the room, but they told them that a spirit was going to be watching them.
Yeah.
And that group behaved more like the group that actually had the person in the room. I mean, their scores were like, I mean, the conditions, their behaviors were basically the same, as if there was somebody in the room. So I think there is something to say about our human. I mean, we all profess to have these morals, but, you know, we're all, I think, kind of hedonistic and a little bit of sinners, if you will, you know.
We have a tendency to believe.
I mean, given the opportunity, you know, to like cheat or steal from someone, thinking you won't get caught, is incredibly alluring and tempting, you know, no matter. Yeah, I mean, and I think there is a certain maybe that. I mean, I think it's a double-edged sword ultimately, but like there is at least one edge of that sword. There's a value to telling people that there's an invisible person watching you. They will behave better, and there's a lot of studies to indicate that. I mean, it could be yeah.
And that's why I said what I said about my 16-year-old. You know, I mean, he knows that his behavior is absolutely wrong because of the fact that after he pulled his head out of his ass temporarily, he decided to have a discussion with me and explain to me why he ended up not being misbehaving, because of the fact that he realized that I have heart problems and his mother is working her ass off and all these other things. Well, now, after him saying that to me, I took it as he was just saying that just to get me off of his back because of the fact that his behavior has been completely shit by anybody's standards. And, you know, but yet he still continues to do the bad behavior.
Yeah, I forget who said it. There was, I think it was me. Oh, I think it was like Bertrand Russell. You know, it's like everybody has two moralities: the one they preach and the one they practice. Something like that.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that one.
You got dead air. Is Allison still there?
I exist.
Hey, someone said her name right.
I said her name right?
Yeah, I was being facetious.
Oh, how do you say it?
You're right, Allison.
Oh.
It's a joke because Strife really can't pronounce my name.
Strife can't pronounce anything.
Alison? Allison?
They like to say Alison, and I'm like, no.
So what
is she from? Japan?
I know, it's like people can't. I don't understand how hard it is to pronounce my name. Honestly.
Don't feel bad, Allison. I mean, my name is Donnie Curry, but I go into people's rooms and they go Donna Curry. It's like, really? It's missing one freaking letter. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
So what's your view? You're an atheist, or?
Yeah.
Very concise. Wow. Do you have any insight on any of this?
I'm having trouble following this.
What would your question be to my original question about?
See, my thing is the point you were pointing out. The thing you were pointing out was actually rather true. It's that what the parents say is kind of what the kids end up going with. See, my brother is 25. He is a 6-year-old. There was one time where the 6-year-old asked in front of me and my sister, me, my mom, and my sister, where the Earth came from. 1 second.
Did we lose Strife and Hogtie?
No, I'm still
I
here.
hope not.
I've been here. If you've been looking at the live feed,
I haven't. I have not.
that's why.
Sorry, my sister walked in. So, but what happened is
You're
that
talking to atheists. You don't want your sister to know.
That's my atheist sister.
Oh.
I have one who's Christian. I have one who's atheist.
Oh.
But
What are you? Oh, if you don't mind my asking.
what?
Which one are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm atheist. My sister is atheist. My youngest sister is Christian, and then my mom is Christian. But what happened is that the 6-year-old, of course, asked in front of us where the Earth came from. And my sister and I are looking at each other because we don't know what our brother actually believes. And our thought was he should be the one to answer this question. But my mom automatically went, God. So we actually had this big problem with it because my sister got mad because she didn't like the fact that
Wait, what was her question exactly?
what?
What was her question? How did the world get or what was it?
He said, my nephew looked at us and asked, where'd the world come from?
Where? Okay.
Yeah, he said,
Yeah,
where did the world come from?
It's like, even if your mom did say God, I feel like you can always still ask, well, how did God do it?
Yeah, but it's a matter of this. He's 6, so of course he looks up to his grandmother, so he automatically took that as being the truth, without my brother's input, and my brother is his father, so my brother's answer should have actually been what he was told. And my sister and I had a big problem with this because it's not my mother's place to tell him what's right and wrong when it comes to that.
Well, and I feel like, though, I feel like both parties could be satisfied, if you just said, okay, well, maybe God did create it, or yes, God did, but how he did it is the question he's asking, kind of. Or at least half of the question, I mean.
Yeah, but it's a matter of just the 6-year-old, and then we go back, and my sister and I try to explain to him further, and he just starts yelling at us.
The brother?
This
or the
is
6-year-old?
This is the 6-year-old nephew.
That's arguing with you?
Yeah.
So how would you have answered his question if your mom didn't jump in?
For me, I don't know what my brother believes, so I would have told him that the question to ask his daddy. If it was me trying to answer, I would say, well, I believe that there's a scientific reason for it, and I would explain it further. But honestly, at that point, it was supposed to be my brother's choice what to tell him.
Which is my opinion of it. I mean, it should be up to the parent to teach their kids what if the kid is asking them, the parent should be the one telling them. I mean, like me, I give them both sides of the information, let them decide. I mean, you've got the scientific definition of where everything came from. You have the religious side of where everything came from. And if they don't coalesce and they don't go together, then that's when you have to make your decision as a human being. But at a 6-year-old level, good luck. I'm 41 years old in August, and I barely understand the evolutionary stage. Okay? So I can only imagine what it's like for a 6-year-old.
See, that's interesting. That's when you have to lie to tell the truth. Sorry.
I was gonna say for me, in my experience, I kind of just read this stuff on my own. I was really independent thinking, but a lot of 6-year-olds will take the God answer because it's simpler, and a lot of religious people will take it because it's simpler. You don't have to think as much. You don't have to read as much. It says right there in the Bible that God created the earth in 6 literal days. So
no, it does not say 6 literal days, and that's where I'll argue with you. Matter of fact, it doesn't mention anywhere in the Bible that one day in the first 6 days was exactly 24 hours. It could have been 1 billion years that was one day.
Then they used the wrong word, didn't they? For day.
I mean, even then it doesn't matter. I mean, even then it doesn't matter because it just says God did it. But you have to, when you're looking at it from the scientific perspective, you have to read books. You have to understand, phylogeny or the Planck time and things like that, and that's hard for people. So, all your thinking is done for you in that context.
And another way of saying that is like science asks, or you could say asks and answers the how question. How does that happen? How does that work? And the answer saying God did it is an answer to the question who did it. That doesn't answer how God did it, just saying that God did it. I mean, it's like asking, well, how did that building get built? And you said, oh, John did it. Okay, but how did he do it? That's the scientific question. And so you can have both, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can say God did it. It's like theistic evolution.
Who was the construction worker and what was the material used?
Yeah, like theistic evolution, that God created the world, but he used evolution to do it. That was his tool, his mechanism or something,
Wait, what were you referring to when you said you have to dumb it down?
Well, like evolution, for instance, right? If you had to explain to, say, a 5-year-old or less, where did people come from? He asks, right? If you wanted to give him the kind of evolutionist answer, I think you would have to, dumbing it down might mean like saying, monkeys became people, right? Obviously, that's not really what happened, but, or you could say, people came from monkeys. It'd be, they wouldn't be able to understand, in other words, you trying to explain the idea of common ancestry and that, no, we're cousins because we all derive from a common ancestor, which itself, blah, 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 blah. That might be too complex, but if you say people came from monkeys, they can get it. Even though it's technically wrong, that's why I say you have to kind of lie to tell the truth, in a sense. It's more accurate than saying it was all spontaneously poofed into existence by God's magic wand. Whatever.
And see, I'll be the first one to admit it. I mean, I may not be the brightest apple in the bunch, but you know what? I do grasp the whole a lot of the ideas of evolution. That's why when someone asks me who knew me 5 years ago, when I tell them I kind of understand evolution, they go, "What part?" Well, whatever the fuck I understand. I mean, don't push the envelope, because then that's where a lot of people will fucking walk away from and say, "Never mind." Just be appreciative that I understand somewhat what I do now. Like the whole the idea of the fish in a pond up top, and one of them falls down to the bottom pond. One's going to evolve a different way than the other one, which at one point they could mate, but 100,000 million years later they can't mate because they're two totally different species. I understand that. I grasp that. but I still am, and I'm kind of understanding because of no words, no nothing evolution video that someone did on YouTube. I now understand that we did come from an earlier primate because of the morphing from the original skull found to the current skull, and there was hardly any change in it. So physical learning I can grasp, but when people start talking that fucking scientific jargon shit, I don't understand it because I don't care to really understand it because I don't need to. I know I'm here. I live my life. I'm not going to sit there go picking bugs out of my kids' hair. So, somewhere in the spawn of life, we've evolved. That's why I got the idea of evolution. But do I sit there and say, well, I can teach you on evolution because I've watched a couple videos? No. So dumbing it down doesn't necessarily mean to a 5-year-old, but those of us who want to know about it, but don't need to be talked to like a 4-year-old. If I'm making any sense.
Yeah. Also, an announcement. July 7th, Lion Go Show will be on a charity show with 1 hour time slot at 1 a.m. On a Sunday. Yeah.
1 a.m.?
Yeah, I know. I posted a mirror of the video actually on YouTube just now of the charity show thing, the schedule. 6 British Standard Time if you're British. But yeah. Still have to come up with what the hell we're gonna do with.
I'll be right back. Hold on, I gotta grab something.
Strife. It's summer. Nobody's in standard time pretty much. It's
British
either
standard.
summertime. No, it's either summertime or it's daylight time.
Unless you're British.
Yeah. Technically for British it's morning. In Britain it's morning right now.
I know that, but they do have summertime. And
Yeah, they have Greenwich Mean Time and they have BST.
yeah.
Just screw it. Just add 5 to Eastern and you got British time, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
The hell was that?
Sorry. I just dropped
I
it.
think it's add
Also,
forward.
Hogtie,
Yeah.
you noticed in my on the show's graphic, there's a picture of a panda.
Yeah.
I don't at the moment, but yeah, I had seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. What you know what that's from, right?
Just hang on. Let me jog down and look at it. I stepped away from the computer, so. The panda.
I don't know.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, no, I don't know what that's from.
Creationist Trojan Panda. Come on.
No, I haven't seen it.
Intelligent design.
A Trojan horse.
Yeah. It's
I got it.
Yeah. It's a Trojan Panda though.
Yeah.
With pandas and people. That's the joke.
Yeah, Michael
There's
Beasley.
a people reference.
Yeah.
Panda's Scum, I think, is it's a really interesting story.
What? You mean the Dover trial and everything?
No, I mean the actual, just the sort of the biological details of
Oh,
pandas.
you mean because it has thumbs?
Yeah.
I would love to do thumb wrestling with a panda. I want to do that with a red panda. I want one. I would want to get a red panda because it's just so freaking cute.
Pandas? They're red pandas?
Here, I'll bring a picture on. Red.
Oh, Strife, that's so sweet.
Oh, stop it.
They're so cute.
This thing. That's a red panda. That little thing.
It's a cat. It's an arboreal mammal.
Yeah, but look at it. Look at that thing. How
It's an Eilery.
How can you say that's not cute? Like it's cuter than a freaking cat and a dog. It's like it's like, and it's got thumbs. It's just so freaking. It's like a fox had sex with a cat.
It looks like a raccoon.
It looks like I don't know. It looks like a fox and a cat and a raccoon had sex.
It looks sort of vulpine.
I mean, it doesn't look like a bear, does it? It doesn't look like a bear, but it is.
Hey, Strife,
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out. I gotta work on some leather.
Okay,
So,
see ya. Pleasure having you on.
hey, thanks a lot for having me, guys. I really appreciated the conversation. Uh, Anybody who hasn't added me on Skype are more than welcome to. Do you mind if I plug my morning show?
Go ahead.
I do the Breakfast Club, 6:30 to 9 o'clock Pacific time. If any of you guys want to come in and chat with me on the Skype, I'd really love it. I like doing guest hosts. So hit me up. I'm still waiting for Hog to give me a good time to bring him on there. So, but we'll talk later. Thanks, everybody.
Take it easy.
I mean, wait,
Yeah.
Donald. Before you go, maybe you should send me on YouTube a message, so I can put this in the video.
Send you a message. How?
Like no, like on YouTube, no, on Skype, I guess. Like like if you want me to post a link to the Vaughn thing in the Times for your show and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. Send me the link again to the YouTube, and I'll do that right now after I
No,
get
I
off.
mean you could do it on Skype. You just Skype me what you want me to put in the
Okay, okay.
That's
Yeah, that
simple.
sounds
I'll
good.
just
I'll
copy
give you
and
the
paste.
link and everything, time and everything. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
right.
We're coming near almost the halfway. We're almost three-fourths there. Wait, you there?
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think we should do on 1 a.m. in the morning?
When is this?
It's 2 Sundays from now. It's Sunday morning, technically Eastern time. 2 weeks from now.
I don't know. We should talk about that after the broadcast, though. I mean,
I don't know. We're doing anything, and it's good to have some input.
yeah.
Critical analysis, Wick. Critical analysis.
What should the topic be?
No, we only got 1 hour. That's the thing. We only got 1 hour. Before us is Eugenie Scott.
Eugenie Scott's gonna be on?
Yeah, and before her is Steve Shives.
Oh, wow. I want to talk to him about his debate with Cy. That would be interesting.
I tried like 3 times to get him to message me on YouTube, and I got nothing. I'm like, what the? I mean, like, I got a reply from Potholder and oh god, what's her name? It's been a while.
Wildwood Claire?
Yes, her. I like she said, yeah, they replied saying no, but they gave me a message why and stuff. While Steve never replied at all. I'm like, that's just, I don't like that. I like to get a definitive answer. I don't like getting like, just nothing. Hogtie, you there? Guess we lost him.
Yeah, no, you're just muted.
Oh. Well, I mean, what do you think would be a good topic for 1 hour on a charity show? Something entertaining.
I don't know. I'll think about it, but I don't know. Something entertaining.
I don't know. I don't know. Bringing Neffy, I don't know. No, that would.
I would kill Neffy.
Presuppositionalism.
No.
Solipsism.
No.
Rats? Rats?
No. Rat's not
Oh,
solipsist.
it's only an hour. You need to leave some time for a second person to talk.
Yeah. I don't know. Something.
Wait.
Except who the hell's up at 1 a.m.? I know the time slot sucks.
DPR.
The
Non-stamp collector. Non-stamp collector.
He's in Japan. And I already messaged him once before. I mean, let's see the time. Let's see here. Yeah, so pretty much we're at 1 a.m. in the morning, our thing. And Eugenie Scott's at 12 o'clock. So 1 to 2. And after us is Haley Stevens, who I have no idea who that is. Anyone know? Anyone?
Bueller.
Did I lose anybody?
Yeah? What?
We're all here.
Yeah. What do you think, Whit?
Kind of derailed us there. I guess we didn't really talk about anything, though.
Well, yeah.
You sniffing a dollar?
It's not. Is that who the hell's even
five?
on the dollar? George is that George Washington?
You're getting so many germs
Is
all,
that
up-
George
all
Washington,
up in
man?
you right now.
Is that George?
Please say you know who it is. Please.
What?
Here, I'll bring it closer.
It's Lincoln. I know that.
Then why'd you say it was sniffing a dollar?
Whatever. $5. I said $5 after that.
Someone's asking
Why are
whether
you
you
holding
wearing
it on
lacy
your nose? A better
undergarments.
question.
Wait, someone in the chat's asking if you have lacy undergarments.
For me?
Yeah,
Not me particularly.
well, they imply you.
How?
Because they say any lace, what is everyone wearing? That includes you.
That was a weak argument, Strife.
No, it's not an argument. It's a statement.
Yes, I am included in the set of everyone.
Yeah. Christopher Hitchlap is online, oddly enough.
Christopher Hitchlap?
Yeah, except he's not
He's
talking.
cool.
I got him on the show once before, but the problem was, he,
I got a question.
We got Psy on the show.
I tried that. I sent him a message like ages ago. I got no reply.
He's insane. You know that, right?
He's not insane. He's not like Nephilim insane. He's just stubborn.
Yeah. Mm.
What do you think, Hogtie? Do you think Sai is insane or stubborn?
Well, first, I mean, he's no chance of getting him on the show. He's got his agenda, and he knows, how to play it, and he's...
I mean, I don't understand, though. What do you think would be easier, get him or Eric Coven?
Neither. It just would be easier. Psy would be easier than Eric Hovind. I mean, Eric Hovind is especially chicken, right? He circumstances.
He's stupid.
He's dumb.
Yeah,
he's
he's the dumb one. I think Sai's the brains of the operation.
Yeah,
Wait,
actually, Hovind is still the brains of the operation. But I just watched Potholer's video, just an old one that I happened to load up yesterday. It was just funny. And in there it has the clip, I should have listened to my daddy.
Oh, yeah,
And
I should listen to my daddy. Yeah.
It is so funny because he puts back to back like how he takes old Kent Hovind material, like the thing about the if you find a treasure chest on a sunken ship, that he's calendar on the coin. He's like, so would you look at the oldest or the newest coin? And you're like, oh, it's newest, and like he just can't do it. He's so clumsy, But Sai, I don't think you're right. He's not Nephi. He's not Nephi type insane.
So annoying.
He's not insane.
Wait a minute.
I think
Wait.
he's just...
I hear a lot of knowledge claims being thrown about.
Shut the fuck.
I'm just
Making
wondering.
knowledge claims.
What?
How do you know that? How do you know that?
How do you know that though?
But you could be wrong about that.
You could be you could be the one tied to the ground, getting
Strapped
raped by
face down on the
rednecks. You could be getting raped by rednecks right now. You know that, but you're just unaware.
He's arguably childish,
I really love Sai in that
childish
sense.
and
How
dishonest.
do you know that you exist?
I don't know. I mean, I messaged him though, and he never replied. But like,
But you could be wrong about that, right?
Yeah,
Wait, you could be raped. You could be wrong that you're not getting raped. That you're getting raped by rednecks, right?
You could be lying face down, strapped to insane as what does he say? Whatever.
Hospital bed.
As I said, I think it's better if you say
In a psych ward.
Yeah.
Strap face down in a psych ward.
No, I can't be because I'm in front of a computer broadcasting a show in front of I don't know how many people, 11 people. So apparently I'm not.
Well, the problem is when he asks you how you know that you exist, you have to assume your own existence in order to answer that question.
Don't you have to? How do you assume your own existence? Isn't that something that it has to be absolute? At least
It has to be. That's what I'm saying. It has to be absolute necessarily because if it were revealed to you that you didn't exist, you would have to exist in order to have that revelation.
Yeah, so it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question to Allison if she's still there. Oh well.
Allison?
I'm here.
I thought. Oh.
Alison?
Allison.
Wait. We know there's no girls on the internet. That's what it is.
Because obviously I don't even sound like her, alright?
You're just a I can't say prepubescent. Oh crap! Live Life is on. Wow, Live Life is on right now. That's just bull. And I want to be. Crap. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was just wondering. You said your mom's a Christian. Were you a Christian? You became an atheist, or were you always an atheist?
I was raised not really being anything. What it is that my mom stopped going to church after she couldn't find one she liked. So I pretty much was just raised, I was told there was a God kind of idea, but I never really was in that sense where I believed anything.
So what made you become an atheist then? Just...
It was a couple of friends I met, and it was just that what they said made so much sense, it was no going against it.
So you've never really been, like, proselytized to by, like, or even anybody in your family, like, trying to teach
my mom tried, but I was already an atheist at that point.
Yeah, too little too late?
Yeah.
What kind of things did they say? Just, like, sciencey stuff?
It was just a matter of, because I never really believed anything. It was just a matter of this position. I'd never understood that there was any concept of atheism before I met them. So when I met them and it was explained to me that could actually exist, it was automatically, what? That's me.
Yeah, so you just kind of fell into it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like,
Allison, sorry to interrupt. What kind of community was it? Like, was it a generally pretty religious community, or?
I live like right on the edge of the Bible Belt, so it's very religious around here. But nobody really preaches all that much unless you're actually in a church. So it's like everybody is Christian. Everybody is assumed to be Christian until otherwise known. But I was never preached to really.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of communities like that where Christianity isn't really an energized topic because it has such a stronghold. And you hear that path to atheism, which starts with I didn't even realize atheism was such a thing. I think that plays out quite a bit differently for people who are in communities where people sort of, oh, that person over there is an atheist, or don't talk to them because they're atheists, So.
Let me also ask, it seems like you're saying, you were vaguely familiar, you were at least familiar with the idea of a God and Christianity, I would assume, just culturally, being in the U.S., how could you not, it seems like, but let me ask, was the idea of a God ever a great concern to you, or are you kind of like almost ambivalent about the subject?
Honestly, it was something that originally I didn't really care about. I literally, before I even found out atheism, I was like, I don't care. And that was always my kind of answer. It's like, well, I don't know what I am.
Yeah, I used to almost be mad at people like that because I feel like I really like struggled to get to my atheism. Like where some people would just kind of like fell into it, and it was, I guess maybe, I feel like maybe you're one of those people that just it was never a big concern. You just never. Maybe that's just because you weren't exposed or pressured into it as much as I was. Or not even pressured, but yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not like a militant atheist or anything?
No, not at all. It's kind of hard to be that when you're just where I am, where people it's like they're Christian, but you don't really understand that you don't really know that unless you ask them, because I've had several surprises. Even me, I've had people look at me and think, I thought you were a very good church-going Christian, until I told them. And that conversation was last year.
I mean, like, do you make videos or anything?
No.
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 I just started making videos.
I'm really bad at speaking at the moment, so.
You're being recorded live, so everything.
Well, mine don't contain any speech other than like sound bites and things like that.
When I open
I
my
don't-
mouth, things come out. That's how I speak.
Yeah, when I first started
Wow.
making stuff, I never talked. I just put, clips and shit.
I actually rewatched the first episode we ever made. It's so funny how much shit has changed.
Who's Stripe talking to?
I don't watch those
very
videos.
quiet,
I would
Stripe.
never make them. It's like, I don't watch those type of videos. So I would never be able to make them.
Oh, somebody wants to know my YouTube link. Yay! Hold on.
Yeah, post the link. I want it.
Okay, here it is. And here's my best video that I've done. My newest one here. Yeah, here it is. Hack off one of your limbs and pray to it? Someone just told me to hack off one of my limbs and pray to it? That's how I worship myself?
It's a lot easier. A lot more practical. Get a bloody
So Allison or Alison, are you the only atheist in your family?
No. My sister is. And then my dad, I really am not sure of. And then, of course, I have no clue about my brother.
I see. I grew up Pentecostal
So, what do you think
with the
about
speaking
making
in tongues and stuff.
I can't hear.
What do you think about making a gaming channel?
Strife, you are incredibly quiet. At least
Yeah.
that's my on.
What do you mean?
Nobody can hear you. You're so quiet.
What the fuck?
Your mic is super quiet.
Oh, okay.
Strife?
Why the fuck was this
There it
thing going
goes.
low?
Man, now it's good.
Because your mic decided it doesn't like you.
Yeah, no, it was fucking up. But also, I was saying, what do you think about making a gaming channel of the Line Go show, like Trolling with Logic does?
A what?
A gaming channel.
Eh.
What?
You can handle that.
We can get the Benjamins, man. We can get the Benjamins.
Yeah.
Talking about?
Nobody knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, words are coming out of my mouth. I told you. That's what happens sometimes.
You want to make a channel
Sometimes,
about gaming.
often.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just bored.
Video games, yeah. Do like walkthroughs to video games.
I mean more like commentaries I was thinking, but not walkthroughs.
Well,
Like, you could play Slender Man. Slender Man.
I'm not a big gamer.
You aren't? Yeah, neither. I'm not really.
I got into gaming for a little bit. Like, I played Madden a lot, but that was because it was online. Online gaming can be...
Online gaming, like, I used to play RuneScape, and...
Oh, me too.
And the funny thing is, you know what the funny thing is? My account's still there after nearly 8 years, and you know what level it is now? It's level 149, and it was level 91 last time I was on it. So somehow it gained levels because they read the whole system. Like,
That's sick.
Yeah, I know. But my money didn't double. They don't do interest in the banking system on RuneScape.
I liked it because the entire society was anarcho-capitalist.
I don't know. I mean, I had millions. I had like a million. I had like 3 mil. Like that was like that's a lot back then. And so much stuff has changed. New skills have been at. Yeah. I don't know.
I heard they did something to the wilderness. They like.
I don't know. It's been so long. I don't know. I vaguely remember. I remember just barely any of it. Like, just,
Well,
yeah. Also, the video is uploaded already.
I see. Has anyone watched the video that I posted?
I don't know. How do you
Okay.
check?
Well, I mean, I just posted it in the chat. I can post it. Hold on. Here it is.
Wait, I'm gonna partner the channel. What do you think of that?
You're gonna monetize it?
Yeah. 90% of it will go to charity and 10% of it will go towards the show. What do you think?
Or
50-50?
50-50.
What were you gonna say? Was that what you were gonna say?
That's what I think we said.
Well, it depends. I mean, I would say this. Once we hit 1,000 subscriptions, then we'll monetize. I mean, like, cause like, I don't know. The video that I just uploaded already has
We
7
would never
views.
make any money, I mean,
I
there's a way
actually
to
put
do
it on Social Blade. Let me look. Let's see how it is on Social Blade. Let's see. Line Go Show. How much money a year? $34 to $314 a year.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
I mean, the 314 is pretty good.
$314 a year?
I mean, this is only. It hasn't been on for 30 days. This has been on since the 09. Changes over the past month, and it's only been the 09, so it hasn't been a month yet. It's almost been a month. Just 2 more weeks. Ironically, though, like some days, like we get $1, and just like most of the days we get $1. That's the funny thing.
Oh yeah, somebody's watching it.
How do you know?
Whit just told me he's watching it.
Oh, wait, you bastard.
I mean, I tried really hard, like really,
Hardcore shit, man.
Wait, what were you saying? You tried what?
so for that, I worked hard on that video.
You got 25 vids.
Did you hear, Strife, that they're making a replica of Noah's Ark?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, you talk about Ken Ham's thing?
Yeah. Such bullshit.
You guys know about the Flat Earth Society?
Yeah.
Do you know it's a sham? It's like, it's not a real thing.
It's a satirical group. Yeah, I know they're satirical.
Yeah, they're satirical, yeah.
Yeah. However, the Ark is the attempt to build an Ark is real. I say more power to them. Let them build the Ark, and then let them put it in the water and watch it collapse on itself.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Which one, the Flat Earth or the Ark?
What are you saying, Ark?
Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
So what is, I don't know what that is. What, there are people trying to build Noah's Ark?
Yeah.
There's a corporation in, someone help me out, which state? I want to say Tennessee.
Yeah,
Kentucky.
that's
One
Ken Ham's thing.
Yeah. And the corporation that's doing it has a lot of, like, their directors are the same people who are directors with Answers in Genesis and a couple other creationist groups. And they actually...
I thought they were bankrupt.
They were what?
I thought Ken Ham's the Creationist Museum was bankrupt and they couldn't afford to make the Noah's Ark thing.
Oh, really? Oh, that would be reasonable.
I mean, this was a while ago. This is a while ago. Like, I remember you could buy a plank or a nail or a beam.
They still have that.
They do?
Yeah. Pegs are $10, planks are $100, beams are $500 a month.
Wait. Do I get to write anything I want on those things? Because I would do it then. I would do it if I could write
Actually, I think you can. I mean, granted, they might look at it, but you have a tax-deductible sponsorship donation that will be assigned a unique serial number that you can use to look up the location of your peg, plank, or beam in the ark. How funny is that?
That's kind of stupid. Why would you want to know where it is?
I don't know. Just to say that I contributed this part to the ark. It's a $25 million budget. And the engineers who are building this told them that it would not happen. That there's no way that this could have happened.
You mean you didn't know way it would? You know what they could have done? Why don't they just get steel and they cover it in wood? Make a steel boat and just cover it in wood.
Why don't they test it out? I mean, what are they afraid
That's
of?
what I was saying. They should put it in the water. Watch it collapse on
It'll
itself.
leak. It'll leak.
It won't leak. It'll collapse. It'll crush.
It's not the Templeton Foundation. It's the Ark. It's called Ark Encounter.
Yeah, that's the thing
Well,
that Ken Ham's. That's the Noah's
Answers in
Ark.
Genesis.
Yeah, that's the Noah's
Well-
Ark park.
What would you suspect their answer or explanation would be when they tested, if they tested and it failed?
Who wants yogurt and Krispies? Okay.
That's an interesting
My
argument.
mic is open. I apologize. I'll let you guys go forth with your conversation. I'll be right back.
Wait,
about that.
wait, I'm curious. You know the theory of big numbers? Like, I found this weird thing. A universal common ancestor is at least 10 to the 60,000 times more probable than having multiple ancestors. So that means it's more likely for there to be,
I've heard that. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, but isn't that
Wait,
pretty
there's
much
more
saying,
likely to
isn't that
what?
pretty much saying in the face of creationists saying, oh, well, no, having multiple ancestors like a tree, like orchard, is bullshit.
Oh my God, Allison, this is scary.
What?
Yeah, I was like, I know I've heard of there actually being one. There is one already.
You are kidding me.
Nope, it's in the Netherlands.
This is crazy.
It took him 20 years to have it built.
Sorry, what are you talking about? There's an ark?
A real ark. She just posted the link.
Where am I looking?
Full scale. He
look in
took
the-
Is it Skype or Vaughn?
Skype.
Okay.
I'll post it
Oh,
in
okay.
Vaughn. I just
Thank
posted
you.
it in Vaughn. Wow.
So it works then.
Yes.
I'm
Oh.
guessing they did not use the right materials.
Let me see.
Wait,
The dimensions are right.
is it floating on a barge?
No.
I can't
Well,
tell.
it's not floating. It's
What is that thing? What is that?
it's a
weird-
replica.
No, that thing under it. That weird looking. Is that a barge?
I think that's platform of sorts.
Weren't you guys just arguing that it wouldn't work?
Yeah, but what is that thing on the bottom? I mean,
Well, on the first one, it's a platform they were building it on.
Yeah.
There's a later picture where it looks like it's in the
Yeah.
water, though.
Yeah. Like with him holding a tiger and shit. Yeah.
how much did it cost him?
I know
Uh,
this one from Answers in Genesis cost 25 million.
You should be broadcasting this,
They're
Skype.
halfway there
Sorry.
already. Isn't that crazy?
You should put the pictures on the broadcast, Strife. So people can see. Strife,
I'm here.
bring it up in the broadcast so people
I'm too lazy,
some
man.
idea what that. Oh, someone posted in the chat, I guess, but on the YouTube video, people are gonna be. They're gonna have no idea what we're talking about.
okay, he planned it for 20 years, and it took them a year and a half to actually build it.
It doesn't look like, I don't understand though. He has two of every animal, or just like the main animals? Because I see two elephants.
He's
I mean, look at what the elephants are in. That's not really a suitable cage for an elephant, is it? It's like,
well, they're all fake animals.
yeah, I know.
So
And look, there's
it
tables.
doesn't really
Is it-
matter.
Wait, I'm curious. Actually, I would love to have a Noah's Ark as like my house. Like, just put like pretty much make it like a casino and just like ship it off. Like, You'd have a mobile casino.
It says all I've seen is it took him more than €1,000,000 to make it.
Okay, and let's see. What is 1 million? Okay, euros to dollars. Let's see. Euro. Okay. Oh, $1.31. Okay, let's see. How many is a million euros? 1,000,000.
It's a work of art.
Okay,
It's about 1.3
1,300 and 1,311 $1,000.
Can you really put a price tag on the boat that's built by God?
Yes.
It's kind of a priceless thing.
No.
Yeah, well, this is kind of half the boat built by God.
Smaller?
Half.
Yeah, well, 130 meters. It's half size. 130 meters?
Oh,
Here
it's
we
not
go.
the full size?
Here we
Wait,
go.
what's that?
No, it's
I'm
like-
having trouble with the feet to meter to cubit conversion, but it's half size.
It
Yeah,
says
isn't
he
it supposed
followed
to be?
the
Isn't it supposed to be
instructions
bigger
that
than
was
the
nailed down to the
Titanic
last
or something?
cubit.
While the Bible specifies that the ark had to be built from the unknown gopher wood, the replica is a steel frame skinned with American cedar and pine and built
Oh,
on
so
top
it
of a
is
steel
a steel
barge.
boat! I knew it! It is a steel boat. So he cheated. He cheated. That guy cheated. He used steel. He used steel, which the ancients did not have steel until the Romans. I think, at least.
Wait, so sorry, did you say it was steel and it's skinned? Is that the term they use?
It's a steel frame skinned with American cedar and pine and built on top of a steel barge.
Told you.
Okay, so it's not just a frame, like if it's okay.
Its infrastructure is made of steel. Its skeleton is steel. It's outside it's wood, so it looks like it's made of wood.
Yeah, and it's half size. It's made of steel, and yet it's half size.
Okay, so is there any full-size Noah Ark? Hey, wait! I found one. I think I found one on CBS News. No, wait, same guy.
Wait, why is it half size? Does it say that?
Wait, what's half size?
Somebody ask Siri what a cubit is.
It's 18 inches.
It's like 450 feet, right?
It's supposed to be 450 feet.
That's the
This
biblical
is 27.
length.
Wait, right here. Answers in Genesis' ark is supposed to be 550 feet long.
We do a survey. The ark came up as one of
It
the...
says it's 427 feet.
Well, I got 500 from Answers in Genesis. They say it's
The article
550 feet long.
The article says 427 feet.
I'm looking at full-size Noah Ark will be built in Kentucky.
This is crazy.
Yeah, 427. Actually, no, another look that would be close.
So
427 would be very close.
By 95 by 75 high. So it's 427 by 95 and then 75.
You know what the funniest thing is? On this article I'm reading, it says, a new book from geologist David Montgomery says that the story of the Ark was based on a smaller regional flood in the Middle East.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Of Shuruppak, 2900 BC, at the end of the Jemdaknashur period in Uruk.
Oh my god, this is a funny thing. Look, showing the Ark among other park attractions such as Tower of Babel and the 10 plague rides. That seems like fun. The 10 plagues of Egypt.
Yeah.
Will I vomit or will I have crabs first?
Good job, Caleb.
Hey, I got a good topic. Strife.
Go ahead.
We could address the ultimate of ultimate questions. Why is there something rather than nothing? The ultimate
Wait. Where did you find the cubic conversion, Hogtie?
I already knew it.
I was trying to do it mentally because it's roughly the length of your forearm.
Right on this thing I'm reading.
Biblically, it's 300.
Well, on this thing it says in ancient times it decided it was that it's 20.1 inches long, a cubic is.
That sounds about right. Like it's between a foot and 2 feet.
Researchers
Just take
for
a
the
foot and a
Ark.
half.
Wait. Researchers for the Ark project found that there were 15 different sizes of cubics, and so they decided to use the 20.1 inch one. Didn't know that. They estimated it took Noah 50 years to build the ark.
I thought it was 120.
I don't think an old man and his 8
That-
children, I think it
A
was.
600-year-old man.
Oh yeah, an old yeah that. I don't think it would take him. I think it would take him at least a few hundred years.
Well, it said 120, didn't it?
I don't know. They said that they estimate Noah more than 50 years to build it.
That. How do? But was Noah the only person with a boat?
Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. Couldn't someone else be alive? I mean, 40 days. 40 days is not that much. All you would need is like a few weeks of water and a few weeks of food. I mean, you could survive 40 days on a boat.
No. The rain. Okay, you guys, enough yelling. The rain was. I don't know if I'm talking to you guys or the kids, but the rain was 40 days. The occupation on the ship was, I believe, a year.
Yes.
You could always fish. Right? The fish lived, supposedly.
Well, I mean, how is that possible if the salt water and the fresh water mix?
Yes, we know.
There are plenty
And
of fish
also-
that could survive.
You know,
Yeah.
okay. Only one animal I think would survive in the ocean. Then, the whale. That thing, cause it could breathe the air. It could just go up for the surface for air. You know, it doesn't really.
But wouldn't the water
What?
freeze at the high altitudes?
Yes, we know.
I'm sorry.
Marine mammals can't float in freshwater, by the way.
Yeah.
It can't. What
No.
about
No.
dolphins?
Also marine mammals. Freshwater is fatal.
What do you mean?
They
They can't
suffocate.
float in fresh water?
Yeah, their bodies are made of a density that's very close to marine water, so that they can sort of be neutrally buoyant, and when they take on a big breath, they can, go up and whatnot. But the freshwater is less dense, so their relatively dense bodies sink to the bottom, even when their lungs are full.
Okay, so there goes the whales.
Allison, what are you laughing at, Allison? The dying dolphins?
No, I'm laughing at the fact that you're generalizing about fish, which is like impossible. Okay, let's try this one. Even the definition of a fish is controversial.
A ray-finned fish. A shark's not a. Wait, is a shark a fish in the biblical story?
Well, I mean, a
shark is
whale
a
is a
fish
fish in the biblical
taxonomically?
story.
Not exactly. A shark is a shark. A fish is a fish.
A shark is a fish.
A shark is a fish.
No, the difference with
A shark is a conjugate these fish.
Don't you mean a?
Yeah, shark is chondrichthyes.
Yeah, because it has cartilage as bones and it has teeth on
Yeah.
its body. Those weird teeth things.
But yeah, I
That's
have
part
a
of genus.
What the hell are we listening to?
Is my mic open?
Yes.
Oh my.
The
What's
definition of a fish is so controversial. I had a teacher who was obsessed with fish, and he explained to us the best definition he's ever heard for what a fish is the subject of study in an ichthyology class. Because it's that hard to define what a fish is. Because when you try to define it, there's so many exceptions that are things that have been considered fish.
Yeah, I got caught off guard at that once. I remember arguing with the creationists, when they were like, "Oh, well, you guys all think that man came from a fish, like a fish just flopped its way up on land, and man came from a fish." And I was like, "No, it's not actually a fish that we'd be talking about, but some marine vertebrate, right?" And then it was about a month later, I was watching an interview with Richard Dawkins. And he was saying about, I believe, so we were descendants of fish. Because that would make us fish. If we're descendants of fish, then we are fish. Right?
Oh.
It's like, but Richard Dawkins said it, so I'm like, oh, damn. Like, what do you do now?
You know
No,
the
no,
funny
no,
thing
no.
is...
Here's the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
My teacher actually was posing to us for us to tell him why we're not fish.
We have lungs.
You guys-
Let's see. Do fish have lungs?
There are some with fish. There are some fish with lungs. They are called lungfish.
Yes, no shit. But yeah, so they're fish with lungs.
Yeah, lungfish. Yeah.
Do they have a stomach?
Yeah, no shit.
Yes.
What do we have that fish don't? Let's see.
Oh.
We have hair. That's the only thing I can think of.
Processes, mammary
We have
glands.
we're diapsids. We have amnions.
Not that much though.
Try explaining that to a child, who asks. I mean, it is weird to think of, isn't it, that every species gives birth to its own species, right?
Wait!
But after
I
billions
found
of
a contradiction. A mule.
What?
Is a mule from its own kind. There's no such thing as
It's a hybrid.
Yes, and that means
Yeah, but it's always within its own species, right?
no, it
I
isn't.
mean,
No,
see,
it
that's
isn't.
the kind of like paradoxical thing about like, say, if you ask like, when was the first human? As Richard Dawkins
When we define it to be
proposes in his
so.
new book, where he talks about, if you try to answer that question, who was the first human? There's no. The only answer is a kind of paradoxical answer, which is there is no first human.
Well,
Because every stage of reproduction, that child is more or less, I mean, yeah, of course not identical, but it's still within the same species as its parent. And yet, this same process going on for billions of years, you'll get a fish on one end giving birth to a human, after billions of years. So it's like,
Well, you can explain it
Interesting.
in terms of, I like to explain it in terms of music, for example. If you listen to Philip Glass, a lot of his music is really repetitive, but it changes very slowly over time.
Yeah. Yep. I know it's the best I think you can do is come up with analogies like that. I mean,
Yeah,
I tried
language.
I tried using the analogy of like, when do you become an adult, or when did you become a big boy? Was it 1 second you weren't a big boy and the next second you suddenly were a big boy, or an adult? It's like you can't pinpoint it like that. You have to say it's this gradual accumulative process.
yeah,
It-
but also, I don't know.
I mean, it does seem to lead straight to paradox, or like,
No, it's just
That-
because
that every parent
we
gives
define
birth-
something to be a human when we define it to be a human. It's technically we're the ones who's defining it.
true. But at what point did we become human? Was there
200,
there's never a mother?
200 million, 200,000 years ago.
But you can never give a precise answer. You can never say that this animal wasn't a human and then gave birth to something that was a human.
Well, no, that's why we use
Every
thousands
time
of
that
years.
process happens, it's the same species as its parents. So where does this line come in? It has to be a very fuzzy line.
Well, yeah, because just like a tiger and a lion can have a liger, it's the same kind of thing.
Well, and so it's the same thing with the fish. That's why it's hard to pin down, is because there's it's a continuum. There is no clear delineation between.
It's always in flux.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And with that, I'll end the show because I'm exhausted.
Come on.
Well, what else do you want to talk about?
Sigh.
You can end the broadcast. We can keep going if you.
Wait, did you watch my vid?
Oh wait, also, I think I know abiogenesis. I think I found the solution to abiogenesis.
Like half of it.
I think instead of it being bacteria to man, it's bacteria to duck. Because I found a duck in my pool that came out of nowhere. So I think it was algae to duck. That's the only thing that would explain why there was a duck in my pool 2 days ago. A baby
Makes
duck.
sense.
Except the fact that ducks have wings.
It was bacteria
Can't
to
explain
duck.
that.
Bacteria
Can't
to duck.
explain that.
No, even better than that is like Kent Hovind's timeline, where he says, your
From a
grandpa
rock.
was your great grandpa was a rock, right? And it's true. Technically, that actually is true.
Well, technically, your great-great-grandfather was some carbon atom,
in a
I guess,
sense.
but that's something else.
I mean,
Well, wasn't it the singularity or the Big Bang or whatever that
Yeah, you could even say that. Your great-grandfather was
You know
the
what the creepiest
universe.
thing is? My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was Hopen's great-great-great-grandfather. That's the creepiest thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Oh.
scary part. That's the scary part. Like
We're
your
cousins.
great-great-great-grandfather was my great-great-grandfather. That's kind of scary.
Wait, Strife, is that for real?
Yeah.
Are you an idiot? Did you inherit
Well-
the stupid? I'm
Well,
kidding.
if you want to be technical, if for any person who lives in the same country as you and of your same race,
There's no such thing as racism,
there's like
man.
a 90% chance that you are at the most 11th cousins. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
Well.
Alright, cuz.
Does that mean it's incest?
uh,
We're all rednecks inside. That's why. I'm gonna end the broadcast now, cause yeah. So tune in next week, and the topic will be I don't know. What should
Why
the
is there
topic be?
something rather
whatever
than
Strife things up.
I don't know. I'm not the only guy who thinks of topics. It's just
Why is there something rather than nothing?
No,
We
that'll
can
lead
talk
to
about Krause's bullshit.
fine,
definition.
fine, oh fine, fine. We'll do. Why is there something rather than nothing? I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a good topic. It's the ultimate question.
Okay, but who do we get?
Lawrence Krauss?
I
Yeah,
know,
let's
but
get Lawrence
I
Krauss.
can't get him in short notice. I'm gonna book him for season 4. I'm gonna book good.
Well, and just get Neil deGrasse Tyson to come on, man. That should be okay. He'll have to do.
Is there a moral duty to abandon religion? You said I got too
Wait,
far.
what did you say?
It's a question someone keeps asking in chat.
I know. I know.
Oh, to the Satanist?
No, it's trying to get everyone in one to answer.